Hey everyone, welcome back to another amazing video. Today we're doing a comparison between a $10 design all the way up to $100,000. A bunch of different projects created by different designers, different companies also, and what each price point gets people. Also see the how and why of the pricing so that you get to know a little about how the industry works as well. Alright, so the first design is from UX Box Art on Fiverr. If you want to find more affordable designers, then of course we always think of platforms like Fiverr, Freelancer. This box art actually has a 4.9 star rating on Fiverr with 56 good reviews. Now this person's providing professional web and mobile app UI UX, 5 screens, $25. You get the gist of it. The prices go up to $500 to $600 if, of course, you're taking a full project. A lot of these designs are very standard. They're nothing out of the blue, not very imaginary. For example, this soundtrack podcast platform is a web design that is done, and it has a transcript section, it has share episodes. First of all, visual hierarchy is great. It feels like a media platform for sure. The color, the navigation is really good. I'm assuming he followed the guidelines of the client. He's also given a nice grid right here. So this is a 3-column grid. One column on the right is dedicated to sharing some details about the podcast. The leftmost grid section is for the media about the guest or about the podcast, etc. So just the podcast here. And the middle section, the bigger section, is actually given for the data of the particular podcast. Things like title, transcript, about the podcast, everything like that is given in the mid section. For a web experience, this looks exceptional. Now, this is nothing special or new, but he's done it very well. Even the mobile website or the mobile version of this looks exceptionally good. Of course, the design is very linear. As you can see, the image takes way too much space in the first fold. I would have fixed that. So a few fixes here and there, but overall, the designs are great. Now, one thing that I was able to find in these $10, $50 designs was the usage of pre-built assets. So definitely, as you can see, even with this project that he's done, he is utilizing pre-built dashboard assets. Either it's from a UI kit or a design system. Even with UI kits and design systems in place, you can still mess up. So the usage of UI kits is very smart here. Even some of the more extensive projects, I'm assuming the $500, $600 projects are done very well. Again, nothing out of the box, probably use design systems and UI kits, but even professional UI designers use UI kits and design systems. They reuse a lot of the materials. We don't build from scratch always. So for a lower budget, I'll give this guy a thumbs up. All right, so let's compare his pricing. Let's see how he goes from $10 to $500, what he's giving to us. The basic plan has up to 5 screens, so $5 per screen. Fair enough. I would say that is lower than I would expect. Comparative UX analysis. So he's probably comparing your possible designs to your competitors and what you have in mind. User research and personas. So he's might be using some software, or he might just be doing it with your users. Who knows? He can adjust. User flows. Okay, so he's doing a lot for the $5 per screen. I assume he's just using third-party resources for the research. So like a secondary research and a little bit of qualitative research. That's what I believe he's doing here. Then of course, UI designs and a prototype. Impressive. Source file. So he gives you the Figma files, which is nice. He can do either Sketch, XD or Figma. Once again, he knows his stuff. He knows his tools. Revisions, 0. Good for you, man. No revisions for the lower price. I completely support this. Delivery time 1 day. Okay, I haven't tested it. He's showcasing it and the clients say it's true. So I'll assume it's true. But wow, for 500 rupees, which is like $10, maybe less, this is crazy. The middle value, of course, is somewhere around $200 to $300. And in that, he can do up to 15 screens. He has not said web or mobile, but I'm assuming mobile. He's giving everything that was in the basic plan with unlimited revisions. I don't know how he handles it, but if he can handle it, kudos to him. And he does it in 5 days. Fair enough. Now his premium plan, which I assume the more serious clients get, is actually pretty smart. $500 to $600 for the premium plan, 30 plus screens, which includes web and mobile, includes everything in basic and includes unlimited revisions. But If you want a quicker delivery time, if you want him to leave other projects, do your project first, you can choose a 7-day plan for about $100 extra. He's charging $100 extra for fast delivery, so he knows that time is money for a lot of entrepreneurs, and this would be a good package. Now let's move on to the $2,000 package. So we're doubling the price from the previous premium package. This is by Alex Bender on Twitter. I was able to find this tweet of his. He does a UI design concept with 3D graphics for $2,000. But in this case, look at how beautiful this is. And I assume this is all custom. They might be using some pre-built assets, which almost every 3D guy generally does for small projects. With 1 week subscription for $2,000, you can get an entire week's worth of work done from Alex Bender. And I really like his approach. He's doing this subscription approach where every week it extends, or if the project is like 4 weeks long, he'll charge accordingly. Let's see everything that he's giving for $2,000. On his agency website called Fancy, first of all, kudos to you for the logo, for the way you're using this ice cream. Delicious. Design subscription for startups. So he's targeting startups. Such price points, I get you're targeting smaller companies or startups. Fair enough. Your on-call design team that can deliver branding, websites, apps, and more. Very well written, by the way. This is good copy. He knows his copy. So this is a good representation of what he or his team can do. In this subscription, he gives you one call. I assume this is like a client call to understand your needs. So he understands your needs. What are the requirements, time requirements, budget, stuff like that. Then you describe your tasks, everything that you need for them to do. And then you start receiving drafts in 48 hours. One thing that I've learned from the more expensive ones that you'll get to see today is that time is money, and a lot of the clients who are looking for good, quick work will pay more. I'll show more examples later during the video with the $50,000, $100,000 one. I really like how you can try like your project at $2,000 a week. It's taken all the way up to $6,000 with unlimited tasks, unlimited revisions, which is very good. If you're giving them like a time frame, the designers you can hire a designer dedicated to that team. You don't have to give 5 projects to one designer. This really helps. The unlimited revisions at this price point and the unlimited tasks is very good. And updated every 48 hours. So I assume they're creating one screen every 48 hours, or they're putting up new prototypes, stuff like that. So company will keep on getting updates every 48 hours of where the project is. On their website, they have a lot of actual live companies who are using their designs with live websites and whatnot. This gives a lot of confidence to clients who might be paying $5,000-$6,000 a month. For startups, that can be a high pricing. So they're also doing 3D illustrations, and at the end, if they charge they'll charge a little more, but they'll give you dev stuff as well. So they probably give you code, or they'll hire a developer to develop it for you, which is really good. Once again, I think this is more than worth it, whether it be for an Indian client, American client, European client, Asian client. This is actually a very good universal pricing that has been set up. And the amount they're doing for you, the amount they're giving for you, the kind of work that you can see here, commendable. All right, now let's get into the big leagues, where this VP of design, who has worked with amazing companies like Apple, Harvard, SVB, Masterclass, he's sharing his secrets on the projects that he's done throughout his life, how much he's charged, and why he's charged it. This is the special part of the video, which I was very excited for. Now, let's start with Alex's first design that he showcases, which starts at $30,000 for the entire project. Now, he's done this for an oil and gas company. I assume this is a dashboard for the company's internal work. So then he can't really say it publicly. Now, he's completed this from scratch, from like a basic wireframe with data requirements. So the client has given him data points, the kind of data they want to see on their dashboard, and he's done this work. His initial client mockup was this. So the client might have gotten this design from either a third-party designer who designed a wireframe just for them with UX research, etc. They've also marked what they are specifically looking for in different areas. So good client. Overall, I think they've been able to do a decent wireframe job. Out of that, he's created this design. Now, he's not given any Figma files or anything, so we have to go off this. This, as you can see, is being done in Figma. It has multiple screens by the number of wires I can see. He's probably designed like 4 or 5 screens, 4 or 5 dashboard pages. First of all, this dashboard does two very good things. One, it's very data intensive. So he's being able to show a lot of data in a small amount of space. That is what I assume the client would require. Oil and gas company doesn't require a beautiful UI, guys. Okay, they require a functional with good, clean aesthetics. Now, here, as you can see, he's designed different elements differently. He's designed the navigation differently. He's designed some live data points differently. And he's designed the overall dashboard differently. So this is a very good way of using a modular design approach, where you design different elements of the dashboard first and then tie them together. I assume that is what Alex has done. Now, you can see how mature a designer is, how mature the designs are, by seeing how well hierarchy of the taxonomy here is, or the elements here are laid out very well. But even the things which are need to be prioritized, you can make out he's done the research on how another company's dashboard looks like or how things work. Apart from that, he's done a very good job with the colors. The colors are not bright, they're not fun, they're serious colors which can do a good job. He's also created a very solid grid, just a simple 2-column grid instead of bento style grid that a lot of people are designing today for beautification. He stuck to that. Apart from that, everything that is clickable looks clickable. People won't get confused on where they can click, where they can interact, how they can do. He's also added elements like setting, share, etc. very well. It's not hidden. I assume this is once again prioritized by the client. They want this to be there. And what a wonderful job. And he's also balanced the icons with the text. The graphs are so well done, and he claims, Alex, I don't know if you really are serious about this, but he has used 0 plugins for this. He doesn't use plugins in his work. That means he's designed these graphs meticulously from scratch. And these graphs themselves would have taken like 2-3 days. Just the graphs, not the UI around the graph. Everything else does look standard. So things like a list at the bottom for some data points is very standard. Here, the project is more expensive as compared to like a $5,000 or $10,000 project, because understanding these data sets is more difficult than actually designing for them. You cannot understand it, you cannot design it. Simple as that. So kudos to him for charging $30,000. Maybe if it's a gas company, maybe you can charge $50,000 easy, man, for this. 4-5 screens like this with 5-6 different kinds of graphs. Good for him. All right, so the next one is also by Alex. Again, Alex, you've made this video possible. This is amazing. This is a surprising one for me, because I never thought that such a project would actually cost $40,000. What? $40,000 for this? But it's true. He's given the client's name. He's told us why they charged so much. And he's given some other explanations as well. So this is the UI design they did, the interaction design actually, for an existing portal that the client already had. We've taken the navigation and completely changed up the navigation, also given an interaction for the search bar. He's also given a complete notification panel, a profile drop down of sorts, or profile model of sorts. And he's also done some contextual work with the search bar. He's done recent searches and maybe popular searches he'll include later. He's also done breadcrumb design and breadcrumb interaction, which again is good to see. And for this project, he charged $40,000. Just this design. Not the research, not nothing. $40,000 for this. Whereas the graphs were actually more complex, which we just saw. So why the $40,000? Let's see his explanation. Now, he did this interaction framework in Figma, so I assume he gave this source file also to the client. For Fantasy. Now, is a very well-renowned digital product design agency. It has some of the leaders in design working here, okay? And they worked for some of the biggest names in American history, in world history as well. UFC, Wheels Up, Royal Caribbean, Huawei, Google, HTC. They have designed stuff for everyone. You probably use one of their projects. So based on that, I assume a very big client would have come to them. The time frame was 3 weeks and the cost was 40K. Now, he has mentioned very clearly that the main reason for them charging 40K, apart from it being Fantasy's project, was the time to result being a leading metric. So the company wanted it quick and assumed they said, we'll do it. We'll do the entire project quick, but we'll need a high budget for this. So they gave a 3-week deadline, and here is what they actually did apart from just the screen. They did not design the mobile version. It's an intranet software. That means the company was only asking for the desktop app. Then he says the project was created entirely from scratch. So no elements, nothing used. And he himself interviewed 20 folks at the company before committing to design. That means the entire company was on board with this project and how they wanted to work. He did his research. He did his testing also, I assume. We outlined behavior patterns for navigation to preserve the current workflows. So he did an entire pattern analogy. He did market research or competitive research. Of course, this is just a intranet app, so we can't expect too much out of that. And their aim was to reduce risk. That means to not make any mistakes with this project. The client was probably clear with that. So a couple of factors that play a role in charging that $40,000. The reasoning is I can agree with it. Only the biggest of clients would pay 40K, maybe even more in some scenarios. This project was done in 2016, so charges now would be much higher. Navigation is a tough subject. If you can't understand it properly, your projects can fail. But still, guys, I want your opinions in the comments. What do you think? Do you think $40,000 is good for this? Do you think you would charge something like this, or can you see yourself charging something like this? Now, for the grand finale, the $100,000 project. This once again is from our friend Alex. This is a design they did. Cost 6 figures, so we can't really say how much it costs, but 6 figures means $100,000 plus. The time frame was once again 3 weeks. They're doing these very quickly. They're churning this out. Very good. This is done in Figma. The entire project, from the UX to the UI to the interaction, was done for $100,000. This design, as you can see, has a lot going on. It's very good, clean navigation. Has some interesting illustrations, which once again I assume they either bought or they either created from scratch. Once again, that could be a service they're giving. They also have very neat, clean interaction, and each page has extensive level of work done. There are tags, graphs, cards, animations and interactions, side panels, drop-down menus. Look at the entire section kind of drops down with all this data and graphs being showed. One thing I've seen is the data extensive projects often take a lot of time, money, and effort. So this plays right in with that. They also, I assume, would have designed everything, including the navigation as well. So the information architecture would take time as well. He has not mentioned what the company is, so really can't see, but I'm once again assuming big client. He showcased his initial processes. Once again, a beginner UX guy cannot do. They can't even use words like scenarios and rewards, because that's something that only experienced people can understand and learn. Now, they've also done just a little bit of, I assume, understanding the process of the client or how they're going to use this product. That is cool. So it kind of looks like a journey map in a way. Once again, this might just be one board. They might have like 50 other boards they've done throughout the project. Everything is so meticulously designed. If you hover over a button, some interaction will happen with some illustration. If you click on an element, it will bounce up a little bit. So everything has been very meticulously taken. This is very extensive. If we count just the navigation, there are about 8 to 10 parents. So 8 to 10 pages guaranteed. But then over that, there would be, assuming there are 4 pages under each parent, there's anywhere from 30 to 40 pages just from the navigation. So this could have been like a 40 to 50 page project majorly. Each interaction would have taken them some time. Once they've built one interaction, that would work everywhere. So that's a good thing. Reusability. Smart people do that. If they've done it with a modular design in perspective, then they've probably used like different graphs from different places. And he's also mentioned that they've done it from scratch. So each graph would also have been done from scratch to fit the theme, to fit the entire template. They've done a nice little search from the top. I can see, I love it. $100,000 for this, I can see that. 100%. This is the project that I'm most confident about. This and the oil rig company. These are the two projects that I'm most comfortable pay. I would have paid for if I owned a company who is paying them this. 100%. I would agree to that. He has a lot of the templates that he's created, a lot of the roadmaps that he's built, the agency kits, etc. All on his Gumroad. Some of them are very cheap. One is actually completely free called the UX Checklist, a comprehensive guide for evaluating websites, apps, and systems. Alright guys, so that was it for today's video. I would love to know in the comments. You guys want me to create more like these, like $10 versus $1,000, $100,000, $1 million project? Who knows? Also, click the bell icon right next to subscribe if you haven't, so that you don't miss out. Okay, that's important. Otherwise, you'll miss out on the next video I do like this. Again, videos every week. I'll see you next time. Until next time, take care. God bless.